Okay, hopefully it doesn't go out. It was being weird. I have it on Wi-Fi. I'm gonna turn. Okay, good morning everybody. All right, we have another student today. Our friend Emma came over today to join us with yoga, for yoga. All right.
The following is growing.
Yep. So we're going to start off our meditation in whatever comfortable seat you'd like. They chose to lay down, so you can always choose to lay down or come into a comfortable seat. I'm going to stay seated and just have a straight spine, sitting up tall. If you're laying on your back, they have either something under your head or under your knees, whatever helps you feel supported. And then whenever you're ready, just gently close your eyes. You can place your hands, if you're lying down, next to your body with your palms facing up for receiving, or maybe even facing down for grounding. And then we can do the same in a seated position, with our hands on our thighs, either hands down, palms down for grounding, or palms up for receiving. And let's just take a moment here to arrive on the mat. Just noticing our natural breathing. Maybe starting to deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. Maybe start to use your Ujjayi breath, where you're breathing in and out through the nose and keeping a slight constriction of the throat, so it's almost becoming a slight audible sound to your breath. And by breathing in and out through the nose, we are almost like we're sipping air in through a straw, so we're allowing our air to slowly come in and slowly go out. And this morning we're going to practice a short loving kindness meditation. So you can place, if you'd like, you can place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And we're going to start to just expand our hearts, expand that feeling of love and gratitude throughout our bodies. And we can do that first by bringing to mind someone that we love. That can either be a spouse, a child, a parent, a friend, maybe even your pet. And just visualize that person in your mind. And start to feel your heart opening for the love that they have for you and the love that you have for them. Just feel that love growing in your heart and flowing throughout your body. And with that visualization of the person, imagine saying to them, you can say this to yourself, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you give and receive appreciation today. Holding that feeling in our hearts, let's now bring to mind maybe multiple people that we have love for and that have love for us. That can again be family members, friends, co-workers, just whatever group of people help you cultivate that feeling of love and gratitude. Visualize their smiling faces. And feel that love that they have for you radiating towards you. And the love you have for them radiating towards them. And again, with their faces, their smiling faces in your mind, say to them, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you give and receive appreciation today. With each inhale, expanding our lungs, expanding our chest, and feeling our hearts growing with that love that we're feeling for all these beautiful people in our lives. And holding on to that feeling of love and gratitude. Sending that love to someone that maybe you have difficult feelings towards. This can definitely be more difficult to send that love to someone if you're having difficult emotions or feelings towards them. But when we can do that, we're only expanding our hearts and expanding our compassion for other humans. So let's try and visualize that person and see that person in their happiest state. And still visualizing that person, excuse me, say to them, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you give and receive appreciation today. When we can send love to someone that we might not have the best feelings towards, it really opens up a different part of our heart and can really help us expand on the feelings of love and compassion and gratitude. So again, holding on to all those feelings we had for someone special, feelings we had for a group of people, and even those feelings that we had for maybe someone a little bit more difficult in our lives. Let's hold on to all that love and exude that love and compassion. Feel it running through our whole body. Now send that love to yourself. Feel that love flowing throughout you and radiating out of you. And visualize yourself in your happiest state. And now say to yourself, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you give and receive appreciation today. And lastly, Sending all this love that we've cultivated, all this gratitude that we've cultivated. Sending all of that love and compassion out to everyone in the world. All beings everywhere around the globe. Especially now, while we all feel this human connection through going through all this quarantine and everything together, we really feel this connectedness throughout the whole entire world. And holding on to that feeling of love and compassion, sending it out to everyone in the world. And saying to them, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you give and receive appreciation today. Let's hold on to this feeling of love and gratitude throughout our practice today and throughout just the rest of the day. You can take a moment here to set an intention for your practice, or maybe dedicate the practice to someone. Taking a few last inhales and exhales. And when you're ready, you can gently blink open the eyes. Good morning, everybody. So if you didn't see earlier, for our practice, we'll just need a bolster or a pillow or a rolled up blanket to sit on. You'll need a strap, or you can also use a belt or a towel, a long towel. We're just going to be using it on our backs. And of course your mat, water, and maybe a towel, a sweat towel. So if you're on your back, you can stay on your back. We're going to meet there to start some bridge poses. So coming onto your back, bringing your heels in a little bit closer. Your feet are on the ground, the soles of your feet on the ground, and they're about hip distance apart. Let's place our arms next to us with the palms facing down. And let's press the lower back into the ground. Taking a few breaths here, just to notice how you're feeling. Bringing a slight tilt to the chin. Tilting it in towards the chest and opening up across the collarbones, letting the shoulders rest on the ground. On your next inhale, let's peel up from the tailbone slowly all the way up, peeling up one vertebrae at a time. And whenever you come to your maximum height, maybe interlacing your fingers underneath you and rolling your shoulders underneath you. And let's really press into the feet, and especially into the heels. That way you're really engaging the hamstrings. And remembering to breathe deeply in through the nose and slowly out through the nose. Taking one more inhale, really pressing through the feet, lifting up as high as you can. And then slowly exhale, slowly lower down. And just starting to wake up the spine here. Maybe bring your knees back and forth, windshield wipering the legs. And then coming back to steady, setting back up for another bridge. Palms on the ground, shoulders on the ground. Take a big inhale and slowly rising up one vertebrae at a time all the way to the top. And then interlace your hands underneath, opening up through the shoulders. And again, keeping that slight tuck to the chin and always looking just straight up. Really pressing down through all parts of the feet, especially the big toe and especially the heels, to really engage those hamstrings. You can also press down through the hands, through the triceps, through the outer edges of the fist. Taking one more big inhale, lift all the way up, and exhale, slowly lower down. How are y'all feeling? Okay, so we're going to do that a couple more times. This time we're going to do some different leg variations to really wake up the hamstrings. So again, let's inhale, slowly come up, interlace the hands underneath your back, rolling your shoulders underneath you so that you can really open up across the chest. Then pressing down, grounding down with that right foot, let's inhale the left leg up. So you're really pressing down through that right foot so you can really engage the hamstring. You can also use your arms, also pressing down with the triceps, pressing down with the fist. Inhaling, lifting as high as you can. And exhale, slowly lower down. Sorry, there's a gnat in my face. He was trying to get my mouth. And then let's inhale up. Again, interlace the hands. Now let's ground down through that left foot and inhale the right leg high. Really pressing down through the heel of that left foot, pressing down through the big toe mound. Trying to keep your hips level as well. Really engage that hamstring of the left leg. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, come a little higher, and exhale, slowly lower down. Now let's windshield wiper the legs again, bringing the knees back and forth, just opening up that lower back. Let's take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And then coming back to a steady position. We're going to do this one more time. This time we're going to do what we call thread the needle. So we're going to bring the right ankle over the left knee. And you're really pressing back with that right knee so that you're opening up the hip. Then ground down through that left foot. And whenever you're ready, inhale, slowly lifting all the way up. Maybe interlacing the hands underneath your back, opening the shoulders. And again, really press down through that right knee. Also press down, grounding down with that left foot. And breathing here for 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And one more. Inhale, lift as high as you can. And exhale, slowly lower down. And placing both feet on the ground. And just take a moment here. Notice how your body feels. And then let's take the left ankle over the right knee. Again, ground down through that right foot. Press the palms of the hands into the ground. And then when you're ready, inhale, slowly rise up. If you want to, and you can, interlace the hands underneath your back, opening it up across the collarbones. And again, really press down through that right foot. Press open with that left knee so you're really opening up and you're lifting as high as you can. That feels comfortable for you. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And one more big inhale, lifting as high as you can. And exhale, slowly lower down. Bringing both feet onto the ground, just taking a pause here. Maybe again, windshield wipering the legs, just opening up that lower back. Okay, now we're going to do just a couple things for our core, just to wake up our core as well. So still on our back, let's bring both feet to the ceiling. So as if you're standing on the ceiling, you're rolling your inner your inner thighs back so that you can really get a neutrality to your legs. Your feet are pressing as if you're pressing onto the ceiling. So you have really flexed feet, you're engaging the feet. And then let's press down the lower back onto the ground and engage your core here. Hands are flat on the ground as well, right next to you. And then let's exhale, slowly lower the right foot to the ground, hovering just a few inches off the ground. Then inhale up. Exhale, left leg down, hovering just a few inches off the ground, and inhale up. Exhale, right foot, inhale up. Exhale, left leg, inhale up. Take a pause here. And then let's take a big inhale, and exhale, lower both feet down if you can. Again, pressing the lower back into the ground, lowering as slowly as you can, hovering just a few inches off the ground, and then inhale up. Let's do that 2 more times. So as slowly as you can, lowering down, really pressing the lower back into the ground, engaging the core, and then inhale up. And 1 more time, lower down, just hovering. Take 1 breath here, inhale, exhale, and inhale all the way up. And let's bring our knees into our chest. Take a moment here, maybe rocking back and forth. And then rolling onto one side and coming up onto all fours. Hopefully y'all's core and legs are a little awake now. Now we're coming in onto all fours. So let's see so that you can see them as well. So the hands, your wrists are underneath the shoulders, hands below the shoulders. Your knees are right underneath your hips, coming onto all fours. And the tops of the feet are on the ground as well. So we're really pressing down with the tops of the feet. Then let's inhale, drop the belly, broadening across the collarbone. And then exhale, press through the hands, tucking the chin, and arching the back. Inhale, looking up, really broadening across the collarbone. And then exhale, pressing through the hands, pressing through the tops of the feet. Inhale up, and exhale, arching the back. And let's just take a few of these on our own, on your own breath. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Let's ground down through that left hand and ground down through the right knee. So we're extending that left leg back. So just straight back behind us. We're pressing through the ball of that left foot. If you feel good here, you can stay right here, or maybe you bring that right hand up and in front of you. Taking a moment here just to notice if you're dropping your belly, we want to really have a neutral spine here, so engaging the core and softening those front ribs in as well. If you'd like, you can take it a little further and bring that left leg up. And taking a few breaths here. Really feel as if you're being pulled with that right hand and pulled with that left foot. Pressing down with the left hand and pressing down with the top of the right foot. Take 1 more inhale, extend as long as you can. And exhale, lower down. And then let's ground down through that right hand now, ground down through the left knee, and press that right foot back. So we're on the toes and on the ball of the right foot. And then you can, again, stay here if you'd like, or let's bring that left hand forward. Again, notice what's happening with your spine. Are you dropping your belly? If you are, bring it back up. Engage those muscles. If you'd like, again, you can stay here, or maybe let's bring that right foot up. Again, with this, notice your spine. Make sure you're keeping a neutrality throughout that spine. And take a few breaths here. Feel as if you're being pulled by that left hand and pulled by that right foot. Take 1 more big inhale, as long as you can. Lengthen, and exhale, lower down. And let's come back into a child's pose, taking a breath here. So of course, throughout the practice, since it's a mixed group, I'm not sure, of course, how you are on the other side of the screen, where you are with your yoga practice. So I will always guide you to stay where we are in that pose, or you can take it a little further as well. If at any time also you need to come into child's pose just to catch your breath, of course do that and do whatever feels good for your body. Just really listen to your body. And it's getting a little warm in here, so I take this off. Y'all still good with the heater? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So coming back up onto all fours, let's bring our hands a little bit in front of us and bring them about the width of the mat. So our pinkies are touching the edge of the mat, so we have kind of a pretty wide stance with our hands. And let's tuck the toes and come up into our first downward facing dog. With this first downward facing dog, maybe pedal out the feet, opening up the back of the legs. Again, feel with your hands. We want to really be pressing down with all parts of the hands. Then rolling the triceps down towards the mat to broaden across the collarbone and across the back of the shoulder blades. And then with our legs, we can always keep a slight bend in the knees. That way we're really just looking for one long line of energy from the crown of our head all the way up through our tailbone. So it's not really if we can get our heels to the ground, it's more so if we can find that length within our spine. And then when you're ready, come into a stillness in your downward facing dog. And then let's shift forward, coming into a plank. So again, with our plank, we can keep our hands in the same position because we're going to be moving back and forth into downward facing dog a few times. So again, rolling your triceps back to broaden across your collarbone. And if you can feel, we're keeping a long line from the crown of our head all the way through our tailbone, and then in plank all the way through our heels as well. Pressing down through our hands, pressing down with the balls of our feet. You can always come onto your knees here as well. And then let's inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to move through a few of these, just dynamically moving on our breath. So let's inhale forward. Take a pause here, exhale, inhale, and exhale back. Inhale forward to plank, exhale, take an inhale, and exhale back. Now let's do a few of these on our own breath, and maybe moving with our body, kind of rolling our spine forward into the plank. So we're really waking up that spine and waking up the whole body. Really pulling our chest through whenever we come into a plank. Let's do one more on our own and meeting in downward facing dog. Let's inhale, look forward, exhale, step to the top of our mat with a halfway lift, a long spine, and exhale, fold. For our first Uttanasana, forward fold. So in forward fold, we can bring, especially in this first one, a really big bend to the knees, so we're almost like we're resting our belly on our thighs. And just like Emma's doing, she's holding both elbows, and you can swing back and forth, release the crown of the head to the ground, and really just, again, we're just waking up the body, opening up throughout the whole entire body, especially the hamstrings here. Taking a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, coming to stillness. And then let's slowly rise one vertebrae at a time, having our head be the last thing that comes all the way up, and finding Tadasana. So standing at the top of your mat in Tadasana. Oh look, we have a nice little, you can see everybody. So standing at the top of your mat in Tadasana, we're finding a really strong mountain pose here at the top. We're grounding down through all parts of the feet. The feet can either be hip distance, or if you feel comfortable having your feet together, you can do that as well. We're lifting the front hip point so we can find a softening to our tailbone. Broadening across the collarbone, but softening the front ribs in at the same time. And then bringing your hands, palms facing forward, Tadasana. Inhale, circle the arms up, And exhale, hinging at the hips, keeping the hips over the ankles, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, leading with the heart, rising all the way back up. And hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Again, being mindful to keep your hips over your ankles, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And in our halfway lift, we can either keep our hands on the ground or maybe on our shins or our thighs, whatever we need to do to elongate our spine here. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, leading with the heart, rising all the way up, circling the arms up, and hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips for Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Take an inhale here. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Again, our hands are a little bit wider than shoulder width, maybe even having our hands turned out a bit to help our shoulders. We're rolling our triceps down towards the mat to broaden across the back of the shoulder blades. We can keep a slight bend in the knees, that way we can really elongate our spine. And just taking a couple breaths here. And we're moving towards our heels being on the ground, but not necessarily on the ground. If you can't make it there, that's fine. It's just more about finding that opening and that length in the back of the body. Let's inhale, look to the top of the mat, step or hop to the top to a halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, leading with the heart all the way up, hands through heart center, Tadasana. All right, inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank, and let's hold here. Now we're going to break down Chaturanga, so if you need to bring your knees to the ground, you can definitely do that. This is definitely a lot of work for the arms. So finding a really solid, strong plank. Our hands are pressing down into the ground, every single finger is pressing down. We're rolling the triceps back to open up across the collarbone, and we're pressing the heels back so we can find one long line from our heels all the way shooting out of our head. Then let's inhale, shift forward, and exhale, slowly lower down only until our shoulders are in line with our elbows. You can either stay here or go all the way down, or maybe press back up into plank. So we're going to do that a couple times. So just working on our Chaturangas. Again, if you want to bring your knees down, you can. We're coming down just enough so that our shoulder is in line with our elbow, making a 90-degree angle and elbow over the wrist. Okay, so meeting in plank or plank on our knees. Let's inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower down just until your shoulders are in line with the elbows, and press back up. Let's do that 2 more times on your own time. And then on your third one, lowering all the way down to the belly. Woo, that's a lot of work. Let's bring the tops of the feet onto the ground. Our hands are in line with our ribs. And let's inhale up for baby cobra. So here in baby cobra, it's just a small little back bend. We're really not using the hands much, so we're not pressing ourselves back too much. We're softening the shoulders away from the ears as well and really bringing those shoulder blades together. Take one more breath here and exhale down. Then if you'd like to do that again, you can do baby cobra, or maybe tuck your toes and press up into an upward facing dog. So again, the tops of the feet are on the ground for upward facing dog. We're engaging our legs so much that our knees are off of the ground. Our triceps are rolling back and we're broadening across the collarbone. And just looking forward with a slight tuck to the chin. Take one more breath here. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Let's inhale, look to the top of our mat, step, hop, or jump to the top, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, and hands through heart center. All right, doing good? All right, standing at the top of our mat, let's inhale, lifting the right leg up, and exhale, place it back about 4 feet back. And then let's circle our arms up, kind of coming into warrior two in a little bit of a different way here. So our front knee is over the front ankle, toes are facing forward. The back foot is angled so that the toes are facing forward. We have long, straight arms, shoulder height. And then again, let's soften that tailbone. And almost like we're rolling the hips forward. What? Oh. Rolling that back hip forward so that you can really find that almost like you're trying to square the hips forward, but of course you're not physically going to be able to, but it's like you're moving towards that. And then opening the chest to the side for warrior two. Taking a few breaths here. And it looks like I have horns behind my head. It looks like I have horns. Yep. So we're making sure that our head is directly over our pelvis. Let's see if we don't want to be leaning forward at all. We don't want to be back. We want to make sure that we're just right on top. We're stacking our pelvis, ribs, and head. And let's inhale, straighten that front leg. If you'd like, you can bring the back foot forward a little or keep it there. And then inhale, lengthen the spine, find space, and then exhale, hinging forward, coming into Trikonasana. So whenever you find as far as you can go forward, placing that hand either down on a block. You can place it down on a block if you'd like. Yep. All right, looks good. So we're rotating that back leg forward so we can really find that length within the spine. So press your hand on top of there. So that way you can really press. Yep. So we're rolling that back hip forward again, just like we were doing in warrior two, so we can really find that space. Imagine that you have one long line from the bottom hand all the way going up through the top, one long line of energy shooting out. And then also one long line all the way from the tailbone shooting out your crown. Take a couple more breaths here. And you can either look down, maybe look forward, or maybe even look up. But just keep a small tuck to the chin. One more inhale and exhale. Then inhale as if you're being pulled by that top arm, coming all the way up. Warrior two. And then again, straighten that front leg and let's just bring the feet forward. Taking a break here. Maybe shaking out your arms if you need to. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. So now, opening up to warrior two on the other side, and we're just keeping it here so that y'all can still see us. So let's bring that left foot, the feet angled in, and then from the hip joint, rotating our leg out, bringing those toes facing forward, knee over the ankle of the front foot, one long straight back leg, and then opening up the arms. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Again, we can rotate, roll that back hip forward, almost like you're trying to square your hips forward, but of course you physically can't, and then rotating that chest open. Let's all look over that right knee and make sure that we can see our big toe. So you're almost pressing that knee towards the pinky toe, that way you can see your big toe, and the knee is lining up with the second and third toe, the front foot. Take one more inhale, and exhale. Then let's inhale, straighten that front leg. Again, you can bring the back foot in if you'd like, if you want it a little bit shorter, or maybe try it here. Again, rotating that hip forward. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, hinging forward until you can't go any further. And then place the hand down on a block, or maybe gently on the thigh, or the calf, sorry. Really pressing through the ball of that front foot. And that way you can almost feel whenever you do that, you're rotating that back hip forward as well. Maybe keeping your gaze down, forward, or maybe up. Whichever way you look, just make sure that your neck is in line with your spine. So we're keeping that long line. Taking a few breaths here. Looking good, guys. And then one more inhale and exhale. And then inhale, pull yourself back up, warrior two. Exhale, circle the hands down and move through your vinyasa. So your vinyasa would be shifting forward and lowering down for chaturanga, then inhaling up for either upward facing dog or baby cobra, and then exhaling back for downward facing dog. Whew, it's getting a little warm in here. Okay, so we're moving towards kind of a very harder pose, a more advanced pose, flying pigeon. So again, I'm going to walk us through it, but you go as far as your body can go. And just don't push, of course, past any pain, or don't try and push past anything just to get into the pose. Do what feels good for your body. So meeting in downward facing dog. Let's inhale, look forward, exhale, step, hop, or jump to the top, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and inhale, circle the arms up overhead, and hands through heart center, Tadasana. Okay, so let's inhale the arms up, and exhale, sit back into chair pose. So our feet can either be touching or hip distance, whatever feels good for you. Let's lift those front hip points up off the thighs. So we want to make sure that we're not arching forward too much or tucking too much. We just want to keep that neutrality in our spine. Strong arms up ahead and just looking forward. Shifting the weight back into our heels so we can really engage our hamstrings. And then exhale all the way up, Tadasana. And let's one more time. Inhale, sit back, exhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Taking a few breaths here. Softening the shoulders away from the ears, broadening across the collarbone. And then exhale, standing for Tadasana. Okay, ready for flying pigeon? Okay, so grounding down through that right foot. Let's inhale the left leg up and cross it over like we did earlier, the left ankle over the right knee. So like we were doing on our back before, and sitting back into Utkatasana chair pose. So this may be enough for you, and that's great. This is hard as it is right here. You can keep your hands on your hips or keep them up above, whatever feels good for you. Taking a few breaths here. If you'd like to go further, you can start to sit back, sit low, maybe even coming down to the ground. Maybe your hands go onto blocks or onto the ground. It's almost like we're wrapping that left foot around the right tricep. So we're really pressing that foot into the tricep to get that steadiness, that grounding with the feet as well and arms. If you want to bring your hands all the way down, maybe shifting that foot that's standing back and maybe starting to jump, almost like crow pose. So really engaging everything, especially your core, especially the hamstrings. And then coming down, coming back up whenever you're ready. And Tadasana. Whew. It's hard, huh? So of course, taking it as far as you'd like to go and just playing around with it. Don't be too attached to what you think it should look like, what you think you should be doing. Just do what feels good for you. Take maybe a water break, maybe a breathing break.
Quick smoke break.
No, that wouldn't be good. All right, so let's try that on the other leg. Again, just go with what feels good for you. And if I'm talking too slow, you can always do it to your breath or too fast, whichever way. So now grounding down with that left foot, let's lift the right leg up, slowly sit back, and cross that right ankle over the left knee. Bring your hands to hips, maybe heart center, or maybe bringing them up. Really engage that right foot, so like you're standing on the ground with that right foot. If you'd like to go further, sitting back lower, and going to your point, to your edge that you want to go to. Maybe bringing the hands down. Again, you can bring them onto blocks if that feels good. Shifting that back, that standing foot back, wrapping that right foot around the left tricep, and then just playing around. Engaging the core, engaging the hamstring of that left leg to bring the foot up. And maybe it looks different on each side. Play around with it and see how it looks, how it feels for you. Do you want to try with blocks? You can place your hands on the blocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And whenever you're ready, coming out of it, of course. Good, all right. And just meeting in child's pose. Let's take a couple breaths in child's pose there. Great job, guys. It's definitely a harder pose. Coming up onto all fours. Let's bring that right foot forward towards the right hand and take a low lunge here. Maybe coming up onto the thigh. And just opening up here. If you have your blocks, or books, would be a good time to place them next to that front foot. And then let's straighten that leg, come into half splits. So Patrick, if you want these blocks. Yep. So we're squaring the hips forward, the right foot, the toes are facing, rising up towards the ceiling. And just taking a few breaths here, opening up those hamstrings and calves that we just used a lot, worked a lot. Now let's shift forward, place our hands down, come back into all fours, and then just switch legs. First coming into a low lunge, taking a couple breaths here. Lunges are just great to open up those hip flexors, which are typically really tight in most people for sitting for a long time. So just taking a moment here to open up. And then when you're ready, shifting back, straightening that front leg, coming into half splits. And imagine that you're being pulled by your chest forward, so you can really find length in the spine here. And that can really help you not go too far, but also I feel a little bit more of a stretch in my leg whenever I do it that way. With each inhale, we're elongating the spine, and each exhale, maybe folding a little deeper. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then coming forward onto all fours. And let's just come onto our backs. We're going to do something with the strap. So if you had a strap or a belt or even a towel that you wanted to wrap around the foot, just coming onto the back. And let's keep the soles of our feet on the ground and lift that right leg high. We can place the strap around the ball of that foot. And then just hold it here. Both shoulders are on the ground. We're softening the shoulders away from the ears. And just slowing down our breathing. That was a lot of work, so I'm sure your breath is like mine and fast, and just slowing it down. Let's place our left hand on our left hip. You can either keep the sole of that left foot on the ground or maybe straighten out that leg and engage and flex that foot of the left foot. And then maybe letting that right foot open up to the side. And really, we don't want it to open too much to feel something. We want to make sure that that left hip stays on the ground. So whenever we do that, you can feel it a little bit more. Maybe rotating that right foot out some. And then let's inhale back to center. Put the strap in your left hand. Right hand on the right hip. And then exhale, twist. Again, you don't have to go that far to feel it. So let's just make sure we keep that right hip on the ground. And then come back to center and switch feet. Again, you can keep the sole of the right foot on the ground or extend that leg long. Take a couple breaths here with it just straight up. And then taking the strap into the left hand, right hand on the hip, the right hip, and then slowly opening up. Again, you don't have to go that far to feel it. You should just keep that right hip on the ground, then you can feel it a little bit more. Maybe rotating that left foot out. And then coming back up to center, switch hands with the strap into the right hand, left hand on the left hip, and then open twist. And then coming back to center, releasing the strap. And let's just take our knees into our chest for a moment. And then take a few breaths. Drop your knees to the left side. Both shoulders still on the ground. And maybe look out over that right shoulder. Finding just a simple twist here for a few breaths. And then coming back up to center, realigning the spine, and then exhale, drop the knees to the right side. I'm sorry. And looking over that left shoulder, maybe closing the eyes here. And just take a few breaths. And then coming back to center, realigning the spine, maybe taking one more pull in, Apanasana, and then exhale for our last pose, Shavasana. So coming into a comfortable Shavasana, you can bring your pillow or your blanket underneath your knees if you'd like that support. And bring our knees, our legs wide, hands out, not touching the body, palms up, and just letting go and releasing into the ground. Let's all take one big inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And let's take two more of those. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And just start to release everything. You've done everything you need to do for the hour class. Feel some gratitude for all your muscles that worked really hard today. Release the muscles of the face, of the forehead. Release your jaw. Release your shoulders down to the ground. Release your hips. Release your thighs. Release your ankles and feet. Just melt into the earth here. bringing that sense of gratitude and love that we cultivated in the beginning of class. Bringing all those feelings back to our heart center. And really with each inhale, inhaling that love in and throughout our body. And exhaling and radiating that love and gratitude out towards the world. Just feeling our hearts expanding with each inhale and each exhale. Again, you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like, but we will start to come out of it now for the video. So start to bring some small movements back in our wrists and our ankles. Maybe rotating our feet and our wrists. And start to take some deeper, longer inhales and exhales. When you're ready, rolling onto your right side and taking a pause there. And then slowly, with the eyes still closed, coming up into a seated position. Bringing our hands to heart center. Dropping our head towards our hands. And feeling that love and gratitude and carrying it with us throughout the rest of our day. And maybe remembering the meditation in the beginning, bringing those smiling faces back to our mind. And visualizing ourselves hugging all of those people and sending that love to everyone. And just again saying one more time to ourselves, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you give and receive appreciation today. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Love y'all. Bye.